Our mission is to help you view life through a psychological lens, offering a fresh perspective on everyday challenges and experiences. We believe that the key to understanding the world around us begins with understanding ourselves. Our videos are designed to help you navigate the complex maze of human emotions, thoughts, and behaviors. If you find our content insightful and helpful, we invite you to share it with your friends and family. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel to become a part of our growing community. Stay tuned, stay updated, and let's embark on this exciting journey of self-discovery together. In today's video, we explore the transformative power of inner insight, the root cause of suffering, and the role of thinking in human evolution. So sit back, relax, and get ready to challenge your perceptions. Remember, don't believe everything you think. Let's dive in. Do you believe everything you think? This question is at the heart of the enlightening book, Don't Believe Everything You Think. The ultimate goal of this book is to guide readers towards inner peace and fulfillment, and to introduce a transformative change in their perceptions. Change, as suggested within these pages, is the only constant. As we navigate through the book, we are bound to evolve and reshape our perspectives. This is not a journey towards external rewards. Rather, it's a journey inward, towards the discovery of our own internal riches. Whether we seek peace, love, fulfillment, or joy, we are assured that we can find it within ourselves. Interestingly, the answers we seek are not rooted in information, but in insight. While information is external, insight is deeply personal and internal. It's a profound understanding that springs from within us, shaped by our unique experiences and introspections. Information can be gathered from textbooks, lectures, and the internet, but insight, that's a treasure buried deep within us, waiting to be unearthed. This journey towards insight is not about accumulating facts, but about nurturing feelings. Facts can be cold, impersonal, and devoid of context. They tell us what is, but they don't necessarily tell us why it is or how we should feel about it. Feelings, on the other hand, are deeply personal. They provide us with a unique perspective on our experiences, coloring our world in a way that facts never could. We embark on this journey, we learn to question our thoughts, to challenge our assumptions, and to listen to our feelings. We learn to differentiate between what we think we know and what we truly understand. We learn to be skeptical of our thoughts and to trust our feelings. In this exploration of the inner self, we are guided towards our own personal truth, not a truth based on facts and figures, but a truth based on feelings and insights. So as we delve deeper into this journey, let's remember one key point. The absolute truth lies in feelings, not in facts. Pain is inevitable, but is suffering truly a choice? This question might seem paradoxical at first. After all, no one in their right mind would choose to suffer, right? Yet, when we delve deeper into the labyrinth of our minds, we come to a startling realization. Our reactions to pain and consequently our suffering are indeed within our control. Day life throws a myriad of challenges our way, and pain in its various forms becomes an unavoidable companion. But suffering? That's a different story. Suffering is not the direct result of pain. Instead, it is our response to it, our interpretation of it. Now, you might be wondering, how can I control my response to pain? Well, there are certain habits that can help ease suffering. Waking up early, meditating, exercising, and so on. These are all effective to an extent. They provide temporary relief, a momentary escape from the clutches of suffering. But they don't address the root cause. What is the root cause of suffering, you ask? The answer lies within our minds. Our mind, a battlefield of thoughts and emotions, holds the key to understanding and ultimately alleviating our suffering. Our mind is a complex machine, constantly churning out thoughts, both positive and negative. These thoughts color our perception of reality, shaping our emotions and, by extension, our suffering. When we understand this, we realize that suffering is not a direct result of external events, but rather a byproduct of our thoughts about these events. This intricate relationship between our mind and suffering allows us to take control. We can choose to react differently to pain. We can choose to respond with understanding and acceptance rather than resistance and despair. To truly alleviate suffering, we must embark on a journey of self-discovery to understand how our mind works. We need to delve deep into the recesses of our mind, to question our thoughts, to challenge our perceptions. Only then can we hope to break free from the shackles of suffering and embrace a life of peace and fulfillment. alleviate suffering, we must seek to understand how our mind works. Do you live in reality, or are you living inside your thoughts? This question may sound perplexing, yet it captures the essence of our day-to-day experiences. Just imagine a world where you and I are standing side by side, witnessing the same event, yet experiencing it in completely different ways. You see, we exist in a reality that is inherently neutral. Events that unfold around us don't carry any intrinsic meaning, they just happen. A raindrop falling, a bird singing, a car honking. These are all events, neutral in their occurrence. Yet we don't experience them neutrally, do we? Instead, we attach meanings, emotions, and narratives to these events, constructing our own unique perceptions of the world. This is where we enter the realm of our thoughts. Our thoughts are powerful architects, shaping our experiences and emotions. The same raindrop could signify sadness for one, joy for another, or simply be dismissed as a mundane occurrence by a third observer. These reactions aren't dictated by the raindrop itself, but by the thoughts we associate with it. In essence, our thoughts are the lenses through which we perceive our reality. But here's the twist. Our thoughts, as potent as they are, can sometimes lead us astray. They can create a reality that exists solely in our minds, veering us away from the actuality of our experiences. This divergence is where suffering often finds its foothold, feeding on our overthinking and misguided interpretations. So what can we do about it? How can we navigate this complex labyrinth of thoughts to find happiness? The answer lies in learning to stop overthinking. Sounds simple, but it's a challenging task that requires practice and patience. The goal isn't to suppress our thoughts, but to become more mindful of them, to understand their nature and avoid getting entangled in their deceptive webs. By doing so, we can learn to live more in the reality of the present moment rather than being lost in the fabricated world within our thoughts. Why do we think, and how has it impacted our survival? This question might seem simple at first glance, but it's a complex puzzle that's been a point of discussion in the scientific community for centuries. Thinking, as it turns out, has played a pivotal role in our evolution as a species. Our ancestors had to face a myriad of challenges to survive in their environment. They had to hunt for food, protect themselves from predators, and adapt to ever-changing climates. Their capacity to think, to analyze situations and make decisions based on their observations was crucial. They were able to plan their hunts, devise strategies to evade predators, and find ways to survive in harsh conditions. This ability to think was in essence a survival tool. Fast forward to today, our environment has changed drastically. We no longer hunt for our food or fend off wild beasts, yet our minds are still wired the same way. They're constantly scanning for threats, constantly analyzing, constantly thinking. Like a diligent sentinel, our mind is always on the lookout, ready to react to any perceived danger. But this constant thinking, which was once a survival tool, can sometimes become a source of stress and anxiety in our modern world. We worry about our jobs, our relationships, our future. We ruminate over past mistakes, second-guess our decisions, and fear the unknown. Essentially, we are overthinking, and this overthinking can lead to a plethora of negative emotions. However, it's not all doom and gloom. Just as our ancestors evolved to survive in their environment, we too can learn to adapt to ours. We can learn to recognize when our mind is spiraling into overthinking and choose to redirect our attention. We can focus on the present moment, engage in activities that bring us joy, or simply take a few deep breaths. By doing this, we can transform these negative emotions into positive ones. In conclusion, to transform negative emotions into positive ones, we must learn to divert our attention from overthinking. How we choose to handle our thoughts can make all the difference in our journey towards inner peace. What is the difference between thoughts and thinking, and how does this affect our emotions, you might ask? Let's delve into this fascinating aspect of our minds. And thinking may seem synonymous, but they have distinct roles in our emotional landscape. Thoughts are inevitable, spontaneous, and beyond our control. They are like clouds passing through the sky of our mind, fleeting and transient. You can't stop a thought from appearing, just like you can't stop a cloud from forming in the sky. Thoughts are part and parcel of our human experience, the raw material of our consciousness. On the other hand, thinking is a conscious act. It's the process of reflecting on our thoughts, analyzing them, and assigning them value. Unlike thoughts, thinking is optional. We have the power to choose whether we engage with a thought, ignore it, or let it pass by. This is where our power lies, in the choice to think or not to think. But why is this distinction important? It's because thinking is often the root of our suffering. When we engage with a thought, especially a negative one, we give it power over our emotions. We start a chain reaction of thoughts, each one amplifying the negativity of the previous one. This is what we often call overthinking, and it can lead to stress, anxiety, and other negative emotions. Avoid this, we need to practice non-judgment of our thoughts. Remember, thoughts are just thoughts. They don't define us. They are not facts. They are not reality. They are simply fleeting mental events. When we learn to observe our thoughts without judging them or engaging with them, we can break the cycle of negative thinking and bring peace to our minds. In essence, while thoughts are the inevitable creations of our minds, thinking is a conscious choice. And it's this choice that can either lead us towards peace or plunge us into unnecessary suffering. So remember this simple yet profound truth. While thoughts create, thinking destroys. If we can only feel what we're thinking, should we always think positively? This question is a powerful one, and it brings us to the heart of our discussion on the power of positive thinking. Negative emotions have served a purpose in our evolution. They've been our body's alarm system, alerting us to danger and preparing us for fight or flight. We're faced with a threat. Negative emotions like fear and anger can help us survive. However, in our modern world, where physical threats are less common, these negative emotions often serve less purpose and can lead to unnecessary suffering. Overthinking, dwelling on past mistakes, or worrying about potential future problems are common traps that our minds fall into. Patterns of thought often lead to negative emotions, which can be detrimental to our mental health. The other hand, positive emotions like joy, love, and contentment offer us a different experience. When we're in a state of positive emotion, we're not stuck in our heads overthinking. Instead, we're fully present in the moment, experiencing life as it unfolds around us. Positive thinking can help us to cultivate these positive emotions. Choosing to focus on the good in our lives, we can shift our emotional state. We can choose to see challenges as opportunities for growth, to focus on our strengths rather than our weaknesses, and to appreciate the beauty and goodness in the world around us. This doesn't mean that we should ignore negative emotions or pretend they don't exist. It's about recognizing them for what they are, responses to our thoughts, and choosing not to dwell on them. The power of positive thinking lies not in denying reality, in choosing to focus on the positive aspects of our experiences. It's about learning to steer our thoughts in a direction that brings us joy, peace, and contentment. Positive emotions allows us to live in the moment, free from the constraints of overthinking. You have the power to shape your own emotional landscape through the thoughts you choose to engage with. Harness this power, and you could transform your life. What is the key to finding inner peace and fulfillment? Our journey today has taken us through the landscapes of the mind, exploring the roots of suffering and the power of our thoughts. We've delved into the complex network of our perceptions, the illusions of our realities, and the influence of our evolutionary past. Firstly, we unraveled the root cause of suffering. We discovered that while pain is inevitable, suffering is a choice. It's our reactions to pain that lead to suffering. By understanding the workings of our mind, we have the power to control these reactions, and in doing so, we can ease our suffering. Next, we navigated the maze of our thoughts and perceptions, where we found that we often live inside our thoughts rather than in reality. Our perceptions of the world are unique, influenced by our individual experiences and interpretations. These interpretations, often triggered by neutral events, shape our feelings. Our feelings, in turn, determine our state of happiness or suffering. To stop the suffering, we need to stop overthinking, then embarked on a journey back in time, tracing the role of thinking in human evolution. Our minds are hardwired to rationalize, analyze, and think, a survival mechanism honed through millennia. However, in the modern world, this tendency to overthink can lead to negative emotions like anger and frustration. By redirecting our attention away from these thoughts, we can transform these negative emotions into positive ones. Exploration of the mind also led us to differentiate between thoughts and thinking. Thoughts are inevitable and uncontrollable, necessary for us to experience the world around us. Thinking, on the other hand, is the act of reflecting on our thoughts. It's optional and often the root cause of suffering. The key here is to avoid judging our thoughts. The moment we start judging, we open the door to unwanted emotions. Finally, we looked at the power of positive thinking. Negative emotions have their purposes, particularly in terms of survival. Yet, in our modern world, they often don't serve us well. Positive emotions, however, enrich our experiences and help us navigate life with more joy and less stress. So what's the key to finding inner peace and fulfillment? It lies in understanding our minds, controlling our reactions to pain, living in reality rather than our thoughts, and embracing positive emotions. It's about recognizing that not all thoughts serve us and that we don't have to believe everything we think. It's about being kind to ourselves, giving ourselves the freedom to feel without judgment, and nurturing our minds with positivity. Journey to inner peace begins within us. Remember,